It's fucked up. Hey guys, so DoorDash just deactivated me 2 days after I reported my sexual assault. Hey guys, I just lost my job, and they won't tell me why. They're supposed to send an email immediately after deactivation providing you the reason why and a link to appeal, and they didn't. So I contacted support, and they made me sit on the phone with them for 50 minutes just to tell me that they can't tell me the reason why, and I have to just go ahead and appeal without knowing why. So my chances of getting my account back, they have my money in that account. I was working! I was literally working! And they deactivated me! This is related. They just punished me for posting about my sexual assault while door dashing. They just fired me! And the police are doing nothing! I lost my job! And that was my only way to make money to pay my bills! This is a man's world! I'm the victim!
Now, she was told to leave the food at the front door. The man is in his own home, sleeping, not standing at the front door waiting for her or looking for an interaction. And according to many people, the door was only a crack open, and she looked inside, opened the door further, recorded him, and then posted it. She was not essayed, there was no physical contact, she went looking for this. And that's exactly what DoorDash said in their response. They didn't take away from her experience. They said this was wrong and no one should ever have to go through something like that.
He has door cam footage. You know the girl from DoorDash that said she got SA'd and it went super viral? He says he has door cam footage and she actually opened the door. He admits he was drinking, ordered his food, took forever, he passed out, didn't even know what was happening, and then found out he was doxxed. She put his name, his address, and a video of him passed out naked. He's pressing charges. He's suing DoorDash. He's suing her. She's looking at jail time. She thought it was bad that she lost her job. And then she thought it was bad because TikTok kept taking down her videos and she couldn't get monetized and she wasn't getting paid on all her views. She was worried about all that. And if the door cam footage actually shows her opening the door to give video of him, and then she put his name and address out on all her social medias, not just TikTok, that's prison time.
Wait a minute. I'm seeing y'all talk about that freaky DoorDash driver, and she came in here complaining, talking about she was abused. The ring cam footage said bro had a screen door. Closed the screen door, probably opened the main door. And she peeping through the screen door, put the camera just in the crack so it looked like she's not doing it. And she recorded that man in the luxury of his home? Oh yeah, she gotta go to jail.
You ever notice how these days the word victim travels faster than the word truth? Because in this world, being called a victim is often more powerful than being proven right. Meet the DoorDash driver who filmed a half-asleep man, cried sexual assault, and then screamed injustice when DoorDash banned her. This is not just a delivery gone wrong. It's a snapshot of a culture where victimhood pays and men keep getting the bill. Let's rewind to where it all began. One late night delivery, one camera, and the one accusation that went viral before the truth ever had a chance to speak.
On October 12, 2025, a DoorDash driver accepts a regular delivery. Simple job: drop the food at the customer's front door. That's it. But when she gets there, the front door is slightly open, the lights are on. Inside, the customer, a man, is asleep on the couch, pants and underwear around his ankles. So what does she do? She pushes the door open, walks in, records him on her phone, and uploads it to TikTok for the entire world to see. That's not bravery, that's trespassing, that's invasion of privacy, and yes, that's defamation.
The video spread faster than anyone could contain it. Before police statements, before any facts, the narrative was already written. The driver was praised online by women as brave for exposing the predator, But not a single outlet stopped to ask the obvious question: why was she inside his home in the first place? DoorDash suspended the driver, and the internet, as usual, moved on to the next outrage. For him, the damage was done. His face was blurred, but his house wasn't. His job found out, his neighbors found out, and by the time the truth started catching up, the lie had already traveled the world.
The driver goes online, says she's been sexually assaulted, that she's traumatized, and that DoorDash punished her for exposing her attacker. But let's pause for a second. How exactly does one get assaulted by a man who's unconscious on his couch? No physical contact, no verbal threat, no pursuit, only exposure, because she walked in. See, in the new social economy, outrage pays. And being the loudest victim gets you more views than being honest ever will.
You see, the modern internet has a strange economy. You don't need evidence, just emotions. You don't need truth, just tears. Every sniffle, every dramatic pause, every stitch clip is content. And the audience, they eat it up because pain sells better than reason. Within hours, her story became gospel. She claimed trauma, they called her brave, and suddenly the man, the actual victim of defamation, became invisible. And that's how false victimhood works. It flips the script so clearly that even logic starts to look cruel. And in that confusion, accountability dies, replaced by applause.
DoorDash banned the customer immediately after her report, as expected. But 2 days later, they deactivated her account. Why? Because she violated company policy by recording a customer inside their home and posting that footage publicly. But instead of accountability, she claimed retaliation. She said she was punished for speaking out. Then TikTok took down her videos for violating community guidelines. Now here's the irony. If this story were reversed, if a male driver filmed a half-naked female and posted it, he'd be in handcuffs by sunset. But when the roles flip, it becomes awareness.
One thing we all need to be aware of is that corporations don't chase truth, they chase optics. They will preach empathy until empathy costs them money. DoorDash didn't ban her because they cared about privacy. They banned her because the evidence went public. It was damage control, not principle. And TikTok, they don't remove false claims because of integrity. They do it when it starts trending in the wrong direction. This is the age of selective morality. One narrative gets brand partnership, the other gets silence. When men are humiliated online, it's content. When women face consequences, it's misogyny. See the pattern? It's not justice, it's a PR strategy dressed as compassion.
I was falsely accused of sexual assault, thrown in prison, bailed out on $250,000 bail with no criminal record. I hired a private detective. We learned that this person had done it many times in other states. They drugged me in the bar on camera, multiple eyewitnesses.
Did the person in question go to prison after?
They had zero interest in prosecuting a girl who made the story up, never showed up to court again. I had to fight for 11 months, and then when I was able to prove it with video evidence, they just dismissed me.
There are so many girls that do go through that, and to falsely accuse someone that they didn't do it, and then nothing happens to them. I think that's ridiculous.
Well, the problem is the women that do the false accusing, they really hurt the girls that really were hurt. I'm not going to let one evil person, when there's 100 great people and one bad person, I'm not going to let that person ruin my outlook on life. Yeah, are you going to be a little more cautious? I used to consider myself street smart until that happened. I just enjoy life more now with a little bit of caution. But
what would be your advice to maybe young men out there?
If a girl's throwing herself at you too much, you might be feeling yourself. It might make you a little bit confident, but just be wary. Not all girls are sweet, and some of them have bad agendas.
You might think the DoorDash story is just another viral clip, another day, another outrage. But it's bigger than that, because every false accusation chips away at real justice. Here's a story of a man who was falsely accused of sexual assault. He was thrown in jail, branded a predator, and forced to post a $250,000 bail, all before he ever got to defend himself. But when a private detective dug deeper, the truth came out. Video evidence, eyewitness accounts, and the shocking reality: the woman who accused him had drugged him and had a history of making false claims. After 11 long months, his case was dismissed. He got his name back, but she She walked free, no charges, no apology, no accountability. That's the world we live in now. A man can lose everything: his career, his freedom, his peace. And the person who lied faces nothing but likes and sympathy online. False victimhood doesn't just hurt men. It destroys the credibility of real victims, the women and men who have truly suffered and now have to fight twice as hard to be believed. To the young men listening, be cautious. Not everyone who smiles at you means well. Not every situation deserves your trust. Because one false accusation, one lie, can undo your entire life. And that's the real tragedy behind stories like the DoorDash driver. A society that's made victimhood a performance and truth a casualty. This isn't about DoorDash. This is about a society that's lost its moral compass. We've replaced truth with emotion. And we've built a culture that rewards whoever cries first. Men are guilty until proven innocent. Women are believed without question. And the tragedy? These false claims make it harder for real victims, women and men, to be taken seriously. It poisons the entire well.
We are living in a time where outrage is a currency and tears are a marketing strategy. In the court of social media, the woman who is the first one to post wins. The woman who is the first one to cry on camera gets sympathy, and the man, he gets silence. We've turned justice into performance art. Truth doesn't trend, emotion does. And let's be real, society doesn't care about right or wrong anymore. It cares about who fits the narrative. A man's reputation can be destroyed overnight, not because he's guilty, but because a woman's story sells better than his silence. That is why men are walking away from dating, from marriage, from trust, because the system, from media to marriage, is no longer built on fairness. It is built on favoritism.
The DoorDash story is more than a delivery gone wrong. It's a perfect example of what happens when the system, the media, and the mob stop asking for truth and start rewarding performance. Because today, a claim carries more power than a fact. And once that claim goes viral, the damage is already done, even if it's a lie. Think about it. A man is filmed half asleep, exposed, humiliated online. No chance to defend himself. No investigation. Just the entire internet calling him a predator before anyone even asks what really happened. And when the truth doesn't fit the narrative, it disappears. Because nobody clicks on corrections. Nobody apologizes. They just move on, leaving the man behind to live with a label he never earned. That's the danger of false accusations. They don't just destroy reputations. They erase livelihoods. They tear apart families. And they make real victims harder to believe. Because every time someone cries assault without evidence, the next real victim will be met with doubt. That's the cruel irony. False victimhood doesn't just hurt men, it hurts everybody. When social media decides who's guilty before the facts come out, we're not protecting victims anymore. We're manufacturing them. And men, they're realizing that all it takes is one accusation, one word, to lose everything. We used to believe in justice, in proof, evidence, fairness. Now, justice has been replaced with feelings, and the loudest story wins. So men withdraw, they protect themselves, they stop trusting. Because in a world where innocence isn't enough, silence feels safer than truth. The DoorDash story isn't about one driver or one man. It's a mirror, showing us what happens when empathy turns into weaponry and the pursuit of justice becomes theater. Until we start asking for evidence instead of applause, we'll keep watching innocent people fall. Not because they did something wrong, but because the truth stopped mattering. Truth still matters. And men, if we don't protect it, no one will protect us. This is why men are walking away. Not because they hate women, but because they were tired of being one misunderstanding away from ruin. One false accusation away from losing their livelihood, their name, their peace. We used to protect privacy. Now we exploit it for clicks. We used to value truth, now we trade it for sympathy. And in this chaos, men are learning that silence is safer than trust. This isn't justice. This is performative victimhood. And it's exactly why our families, our trust, and our men are breaking apart.
You see, walking away is not just a movement, it's a survival instinct. When every man knows a story of someone falsely accused, when every man has been warned, record everything or risk everything, it stops being paranoia, it becomes protection. Because what happens when a man no longer feels safe to love? When he fears that his kindness could be twisted into evidence? You don't just lose relationship, you lose connection. You lose families, you lose hope. False victimhood doesn't just destroy men, it destroys trust itself. And once trust is gone, society follows right behind it.
In the end, the DoorDash story isn't about one woman or one delivery. It's about a culture that's forgotten how to tell the difference between being harmed and being offended. When truth stops mattering, everyone loses. Men, women, families, all of us. Because justice can't survive in a world that rewards performance over proof. So if you believe truth still matters, if you believe accountability should go both ways, then don't just watch, join the conversation. Subscribe, share this message, and help rebuild a world where honesty still means something. This is Shattered Families, and this is why men are walking away.
There you go, fellas. If you believe truth still matters, even when it's uncomfortable, don't just scroll past, subscribe, share the message, and let's rebuild a culture that values honor over hashtags. See you in my next video.